little live stream today after our first day of event. Today we had our first session of Love 'em, Coach 'em, Sign 'em, and we talked a little bit about what the difference is between a coach and a teacher and a consultant. We talked about the joy, the real joy that comes from coaching, and I love calling coaching the people encouragement business because we all live beat down by these attitudes and feelings that we've gotten from all kinds of places about what we can have. And I saw a post today by a friend of mine, and the word indifferent showed up, or apathetic, and some other word, a couple of other words that just were indicative of sort of being mediocre, mediocrity. And he went on to explain some changes that took place, and it was really important to me to read that, and I really loved it. So here's the thing. How do you go about changing things that you believe? Like if you're a coach and you're trying to build a practice, you're trying to build your business, or you don't even have to be a coach. Let's say you're just trying to build your business and you've got something powerful and important to share, and you say, how do I build this business? I don't believe I can, because here's the truth. If you use a bunch of affirmations, but your underlying belief is different, beliefs trump every time. If you want something really bad, but you believe or expect something different, your beliefs or expectations win every time. It doesn't matter how bad you want something. It doesn't matter how much noise you make about it, and or how much you say anything. You get what you expect. You find what you seek, you get what you believe. So since that's true, then the real key would be for us to work on, all of us, me too. How do we change what we believe? Well, there's a simple way to think about it, and there's lots of ways. So I'm not going to say this is the only way, but here's something that I know. And if you hit me up, I'll tell you where this came from. It came in a very sacred, spiritual place and time. But here's the thing. The first piece is to understand that you, me, we see life the way we are. And that's not a bad thing. The first time I heard someone tell me, you don't see life the way it is, you see the world the way you are, I thought that was an indictment, and I felt bad about it. Like, oh, so if I see something bad, that means I'm bad. And I had this sort of grumpy, negative feeling about that saying. It felt like someone was indicting me because I saw some negativity or something wrong. And my microphone just got louder because it was up here and I forgot to pull it down. Sorry about that. Anyway, we do really see the world the way we are, but that's not an indictment. That's a fact, because there's no other way to see it. Like, you've had a set of experiences in your life up to now that have given you the lenses that you have. Like, you see the world the way it is because that's your set of experiences. And you believe that that's the way things work. And you'll continue to believe that until you change it. So like a fish is not aware of the water, or an ant crawling on the ground sees things from their perspective. Suddenly, if you were transported to a place where you could see differently, it would have a whole different meaning. And I'll give you an example of how that suddenly shifted for me. I used to have season passes every year to a ski resort called Sunshine. And that's in Banff, Alberta. And Banff, Alberta is one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's picturesque and just gorgeous. Winter, summer, doesn't matter. Spectacular. But anyway, in this one particular resort, there was a lift, a ski lift that went up one hill and it overlooked a valley to the right. And there was another ski lift that went up another mountain, but it overlooked the same valley and it was on the left. And one day in contemplation, I realized that even though it overlooked the same valley, it looked completely different. And how that came to me was, there is another mountaintop. And the meaning of that for you right here, right now, is the lenses that you have, the difficulties, the way you see your problems, the insurmountable obstacles, the barriers, blocks, and all that. They look that way through your lenses, but there is another mountaintop. So the question to ask yourself to start with is, what do I believe? And then be honest. Well, I believe it's hard. I believe I'm not talented enough. I believe whatever that list of barriers are. And be honest. It's not an indictment. It's just a conversation you have with yourself. Well, I believe this, this, and this. I believe this list of barriers, and therefore I can't have this thing that I'm imagining. Okay, that's fine. That's what you believe today. The second question is, what else could I believe? Now, I'm not asking you to believe something else, but it's an interesting exercise to say, what else could I believe? Because you could say, well, I could believe that it's possible. I could believe that I'm strong enough, young enough, smart enough, capable enough. I could believe that. I don't, but I could believe that. And so asking yourself what you could believe is a fun exercise, and it's already a little bit liberating. Sometimes that question is too hard. And so if you are so stuck in a belief that you have that you say, I can't believe anything else, then you can do the alternative. And the alternative is there something else someone else believes? Like you can pick your favorite superhero, you can pick your favorite, it doesn't matter, someone you look up to and say, well, in this situation, what would they believe? And almost without exception, if you pick someone you look up to, you say, well, they would believe that there was a way. They would believe that they could do this. They would believe that it was possible, even though I don't. That's okay. We're not trying to argue with your beliefs. We're just playing a game here. And so the next step after that is to say, all right, I don't believe this alternative reality, this alternative outlook, but if I did, what would I do? So I'll give you a more concrete example. A person's making sales calls, right? And they're getting rejected a lot. And they believe, I can't do this. I'll never get my quota. I'll never make any sales or not enough. I'm going to starve to death. Oh no, I'm a failure. Or some version of that negative story. What else could I believe? I just can't believe anything. Well, you might think of your star salesman. What do they believe? Well, they believe that there's opportunity in every call, and that if this person says no, the next one will say yes. And I know they believe it because that's what they keep doing, right? And so you can easily identify an alternate belief, even if you don't believe it. So that's not the fun part. The fun part is to say, okay, if I believed that alternate thing, what would I do? Well, that question's always really easy to answer. If I believed that it was possible, then I'd do it. If I believed that there was a sale on the end of that next call, I'd make it. If I believed I could ski that slope, I'd start. If I believed that, well, I'd go do it. So here's the game. What would it hurt to try? Why don't we just play a game and say, okay, if I believed that, I would do this. Well, then do it. Like, you don't have to change your beliefs. Just try it. It's a game. It's an experiment. Well, I'm just going to try it. No harm, no foul. Doesn't matter. I don't believe it anyway, but I'm just going to try it. And here's what I notice happens over and over again. You get an unexpected result. It wasn't as hard as you thought. Somebody said yes. There's a second conversation. You learn something about yourself or the way you're doing things. And these unexpected results can teach us so many lessons. And you can learn them without harm. You can learn them without damaging your ego or anything else because you weren't trying to talk yourself into anything to start with. What do I believe? What could I believe? If I believe that, what would I do? Okay, let's play a game. Let's just try that and see what happens. I challenge you to try that. Play the game honestly. List your beliefs, however negative or ugly they are. Think in a fun way what else you could believe. And then ask yourself what you'd do if you had that alternative belief, if you really believed that other scenario, and then play a game with it and see what happens. I see unexpected events happen all the time. For me, for people I work with, and for people I've taught this little game to. And when you start getting unexpected results, you have the evidence now to say, you know what? It's possible. Something else is possible. There is another mountaintop. That is one way you can begin to change beliefs, even deep, long-held, scary beliefs. You can change them. We'll see you tomorrow. in our group. Love them, coach them, sign them, because signing up clients is exactly like this belief process, going from I don't think I can and I'm scared to, hey, let's just try this and play the game. We'll see you tomorrow.